Hey, this is Not the Girl Next Door show, and tonight I have Kingdom Collapse with me. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Good.
Could you introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about the band?
I'm Jonathan. I do vocals and play some guitar.
I'm Robert. I play guitar and do a little vocals.
I'm Wesley. I play bass and also do a little bit of vocal.
Yeah, and then our drummer's not here with us tonight, but his name's Cage, and he plays drums.
So how did you guys meet?
Oh, that's kind of a well. So we've all known each other a long time, kind of all from separate things. But me and Robert played together for a while, for years. I want to say 7 or 8 years, and I've even known Wesley that long. And me and Robert had played together, and then we were like, hey, when this thing kind of came about, we were the ones that kind of started reaching out to find, a bassist, a drummer, and I knew Wes, and, he was a guitar player, and, like, he had, everything that I felt like would be a good fit, but he wasn't a bass player. And I know that for some people, it's like, if you tell a guitarist, like, hey, you want to play bass for me, they're going to be like, fuck off. But I showed him some of the stuff, and I told him kind of like where I wanted to take things and like what we were going to be doing, and really, I don't know, like Wes, like how
it was. So it's wild. We actually met about 10 years ago. Now that I think about it, I was 14 at the time, and it was on some back like page Facebook like group. It was ridiculous. It was like people or like bands looking for members, or like people looking for bands or something.
Like a classified, like a Craigslist musician.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I had just graduated from college whenever he had reached back out to me about 10 years later. And like you said, he was like, hey, I want to know if you'd maybe be down like playing this band or whatever. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'd be down. Like what are we playing? What are we doing? And he's like, well, I actually need you to play bass. And I was like, not happening, buddy. It's like, sorry, man. I'm not sure. I was like, but send me the stuff. I'll definitely jam it. And so I listened to the demos and stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, this stuff is actually super dope. I was like, you know what? I guess I'm gonna drop some cash on basses. And so that's kind of just how that happened.
Yeah. So that's kind of, I guess I twisted his arm a little bit, but yeah.
I mean, the music kind of speaks for itself, I feel, and I've always been, like, really into hard rock and even metal, and at that time I was kind of more working on an acoustic vibe sort of thing, and I was actually feeling kind of down because I was like, man, like, the local scene around that area that we were at kind of was dying down at that point. Some of the venues were closing down and whatnot, so it was somewhat disappointing, and to see, like, when he reached out and had really good material, I was like, yo, I definitely want to jump in and start writing and, like, forming with these guys. So I was like, I'm about it.
So then what are some of your musical influence as a whole, as a band? Like, who is it that, I guess, everybody listens to that helps shape the band?
But it's a pretty wide range of, like, everything. But, we all came from, I guess, a little more like the metal side of things. Yeah. Even though, this stuff is, it could be considered metal, but for the most part, it's like hard rock. Like, it could be like that rock metal, on the cusp a little bit. But
I would have to say, like, overall, Seven Dust is a pretty big, like, big influence. We all like Seven Dust quite a bit.
I don't know, Wesley, what are some of your personal influences?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I would say starting out, like, for metal, Under Oath was a really big influence for me. For Today, the Acacia Strain, like, it just, like, a lot of really heavy stuff. And then on the flip side of the coin, I really started listening to more pop and kind of, I wouldn't say it's like pop, but like, I don't know, I guess like John Bellion, Eden, stuff like that. Like, melodies really started catching my ears because I just listening to, I was so used to listening to people scream for so long. I was kind of like, to hear some singing. I want to get some like influence there because, like I said, I just came out of college. I started playing acoustic more, and I wanted to have a little bit more influence with, like writing hooks, good choruses, and stuff like that. And so that's kind of where that came from. But mainly, I've always just been on more of like the side of like Under Oath, Breaking Benjamin, Seven Dust, just stuff like that, which I feel I can really, write from that influence in this band and draw from those.
Yeah, I think, like, at least me personally, I really grew up liking like Creed and POD, Stained, like all that era of like, just straightforward, like rock, hard rock, like just good songs. So like, and that was kind of before I got into like metal. So that always has like a place inside me. And so it's like I kind of went back to those influences with a lot of this stuff, approaching writing for this project and really just kind of blending the heaviness with the just the straightforward, just rock stuff. And then Robert, I know
a lot of the big metal bands of the 2000s, Disturbed, Slipknot, Cohn,
Avenged
Sevenfold, Trivium. Those are all my influences, and I just kind of worked my way from there to, the newer style where the rock scene's going now. So.
And I think you guys have all of that together. I mean, like in one big pot, stir it up, and then that's what you guys portray. Because I've never been a fan of like completely. People don't like it when I say screamo, but the screaming all the time. You guys have the perfect amount of melodic sounds, and then the more aggressive side, and that's what I loved. I mean, that was what I loved when I first heard it. And then, of course, you guys had a kick-ass video for your song when I first saw Suffer. So I think that hand in hand, it was like the perfect storm for you guys.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, we weren't even expecting that kind of reception from everybody, but it's just still, like, today, like, it's climbing, like as far as, like, spreading out there, like, almost as consistently as when it came out, and it's weird. Like, people are still hitting us up, like, I love Suffer, and it's like, man.
You're over it by now?
It's crazy. It's like, well, we do have other songs. Come on.
But, hey, I mean, if you think Suffer and you can listen to that all day, by all means, please continue to listen to it.
Yeah.
And we got plenty of bangers coming too, so it's like,
it's
more humbling than anything, seeing how, how well received it's been, and or even on the opposite end, people be like, ooh, this is a little violent. It's like, well, we'll leave that for you to read into, like, teach their own, but
like, we're sorry. I mean, we're not sorry, but sorry.
Right.
Sorry, not sorry.
I would definitely not say it's violent. I mean, I guess the message is you kind of got what was coming. So, I mean, I guess there's violence in it, but as far as music videos go, that's not a violent music video.
Exactly.
As far as it goes, like if that's the most you took out of the song, you didn't really take a lot of time to really listen to the song and, like,
Definitely.
I don't know, really back to a time where you felt like you were, screwed over by somebody else. So
of course,
it's nice to have all the feedback. Like, I'm the kind of person I like constructive criticism, and also like having people compliment stuff. So it's nice having that, like, people taking the time to actually give those, like, different feelings of how, of what they thought of the song. So.
It's crazy, dude. And even today, someone messaged me and was like, hey, I wanted to share with you a poem I wrote when I was listening to Suffer.
Dang.
And I was like,
really?
Whoa. It's like almost these songs have a deeper spot in other people's, like, heart than it almost with us. It's like it almost has a deeper place within them and affects them more than us as individuals sometimes.
Right.
Like, some songs, people just really connect with it, and it's crazy. It's awesome.
And that's the beauty of lyrics, and I talk about lyrics on my show a lot, because, I mean, I kind of go back to this story because when Alice in Chains first came out, and I was a pretty sheltered child. I was pretty sheltered till I was pretty old. I loved Alice in Chains, and I'm a little bit older than you guys, so when Alice in Chains first came out, I was a teenager, and I had no clue that Lane Staley was talking about his blatant drug addiction to heroin. But I took those lyrics because I had no idea anyway and applied them to my own life, and that's the beauty of lyrics. Even if your intentions were to tell a story, someone else may pull out of it something else and apply it to their own life in a different way too. So
right. Well, it's just crazy too, and even like you get those YouTube videos of people that like attempt to like make a lyric video and like all the lyrics are wrong.
Right.
Yeah. But it's awesome that you know
we definitely find a lot of importance in lyrics. I think we spend a lot of time going back and forth over just whenever it comes to a song, your chorus is basically your thesis statement, and everything else surrounding it has to support that idea. And because if not, the song just doesn't feel coherent, and without that coherence, you don't get as much emotion out of it. And so we spend a lot of time, mulling over lyrics and writing, and it's really good dynamic, and I'm glad to see that people actually take the time to still sit there and read or listen to the lyrics and find meaning in that too.
Yeah.
Instead of like I just want to hear a good beat or something heavy and I'm good. It's like, well, then what's the point of all the other facets of the song,
Well, I think that's what the magic, I guess, that Suffer had, was that it was so, like, honest. Like,
Definitely.
It was angry, it was pissed off, but the words were very, like, kind of graphic in a sense of, like, I want you to pay. I want you to feel like, just the verses are describing different ways to basically inflict pain on someone, and, like, I want you to just feel it.
Right. Definitely. I agree.
Yeah.
So I guess that brings me to the question about, and you guys kind of talked about it when you said that, somebody wrote a poem just listening to your song. How does it feel when you guys perform live and you guys see these people, these fans, like belting out your lyrics and singing along with you during a show? How does that make you guys feel when you're up on stage and you see that?
I get chills. I like, seriously, like, it's like we kind of, when you write a song, you never know, like, how it's going to be received when when you're working on stuff until you really test it. You really put it out there and you get it to the public.
Right.
But, when we play these new songs or, like, a couple shows in where people have had a little time to, like, discover new songs and, like, you see them singing it, it's like, dang, like, this becomes something bigger than what it ever was. Like,
yeah.
For sure. How do you feel, Robert?
When you're up there and you actually see, like, people singing the words to it, it's like it's a whole different experience than just going up there and playing music. Like, people are singing your words.
It's like connection.
And you're connecting to each and every fan that's singing along. You don't sing one part, but you can hear someone else singing, and it's the crowd, and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
So it's really mind blowing to me. Like, or I'm up there playing guitar, I just look out and people are mouthing the words. It's a feeling of what's the word?
Euphoria.
Yeah, it's just euphoria watching everybody sing what you wrote.
I know for me, it's like, whenever I'm sitting there writing in my room, it can have a very lonely feeling, just sitting there mulling over all these lyrics and stuff, and being able to go up on stage and see people sing, like, makes you realize, like, you're not that alone, especially not in your feelings or, like, your experiences, and realizing, like, everyone's, suffered the pain of loss or, being stabbed in the back, et cetera, the list goes on, and, I think that's the biggest payoff, is seeing other people relate to that song and sing along with you, than just the writing itself in, your room or playing. It's an entirely different feeling.
And what we found is, like, with, a lot of people that discover the songs, like, they discover those songs when they're in that place of loneliness, or they're like going through something where they really relate to it and connect with it, and it gives it so much more like meaning for them, and like it just makes, it's crazy how like maybe one line or one word can just like create like a lifelong fan, or like a diehard, and it's like, dang, like this is awesome. Right. This is cool.
It's funny usually for me to oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, it's funny because like usually for me, and whenever I'm listening to songs, there might be just that one song or that one line that haunts me. Like there are like just, and there's just that one freaking line in the song that just makes me go back to that song every single time. So it's funny that you mentioned that. It just reminds, especially as of late, and that's kind of stuff I've been writing as well. Like there'll be one line that just haunts me, and it makes me want to go back and finish that song too. So.
Well, what I was going to ask you kind of has to do with that, because some bands, when they write, or singers, when they write something, when they go back and have to perform it, they may not be at that point in their life. Like maybe you wrote the song while it was during a breakup, and this helped you, release your feelings and all that. So when you go up to perform this song again, do you kind of have to take yourself out of the equation and your feelings out of the equation? Or how does it feel like if you're not feeling in that moment anymore? Do you feel like you can't put the emotion into the song? Or Johnny Stevens from Highly Suspect, when he was in part of his breakups, he said that basically he doesn't want to perform some of the songs anymore because he doesn't feel that depression or anxiety that he was feeling. So some songs he won't perform again when he performs with Highly Suspect. So do you feel like that, or it's not how you feel at all?
Honestly, at least for me, like with these songs, even though it's a past emotion, a past situation, it still did happen to me, and it's like I feel like it's pretty easy, in that situation. I mean, in the live situation, to kind of channel that and tap back into it, because music, and rock and metal has always been where I've let it's been my release. It's like, when I'm pissed off, when I'm stressed out, like sad or angry about something, like music like just does something for me. So really a lot of these songs are about those kind of topics where it's easy to feel it. It's easy to really just like step back into it, even if I may not be, even if my mind may be somewhere else. I think it's pretty easy to tap into it.
Well, it's interesting for me. I know that, I'm pretty quick to move on from certain feelings and stuff. So whenever it comes to that, I've always been kind of a try-hard whenever it comes to, anything that I put effort into. So I actually enjoy just being able to sing that song again, like to be able to focus, make sure I hit every single note just right, make sure I'm playing it better. Like every single time I perform, it's like an opportunity to either play the best I ever have or to play even harder than that. So, even, driving to and from work every single day, like the majority of my time is spent singing, practicing, etc. And, whenever the emotion's removed from the equation, it then turns to I want to perform the song the best that I can because I like to,
Right.
I think that's one part of being a musician. I think I was reading The Musician's Way, and I kind of talked about how, how can you really excel as a musician if you don't thoroughly just enjoy practicing? Like practice in and of itself is like you're playing your instrument.
You can't become great without doing what you're supposedly great at.
Right, and you shouldn't be picking it up for any other reason than the fact that you like it, And whenever I sing, every time I go to sing, I absolutely just love it. And so it's another opportunity for me to sing regardless of whether the emotion is there anymore or not. I get to draw from the joy of just being able to sing and have people there to, like, sing with us, and share that experience.
So what can people who have never been to a Kingdom Collapse show expect at a concert? What kind of show can they expect from you guys?
Just a straightforward, rock show. I don't know. We're not, it's not like Slipknot. We're not wearing masks or anything. But,
right.
Yeah.
But it's, we like to just practice where we can, nail these songs and play them. Each show play them better than we did the show before that, and really just hope that, the songs connect with people, or people went away, with a good taste in their mouth.
You'll notice it's just 4 guys up there playing their hearts out.
Yeah.
That's all there is. It's just as much energy as we can muster, and I guess kind of like what you saw in, Suffer, the music video, where, I was losing my freaking mind, headbanging, and Robert and John just really getting into the song, and the drummer just getting lost in it too. That's just what we do. We just get lost in it because, that's kind of the escape that we have from everything else, and all the stress is just letting it all out there on stage.
Yeah, we still, we through 9 to 5, whatever, we do what we need to do to take care of our responsibilities, and sometimes, that stuff takes a lot of our time, but when we get together and we're able to come together and do this, it's really what we look forward to.
Of course, definitely.
Yeah. So.
It's one of the most rewarding experiences in my life, to be perfectly honest. As 24 years I've lived, just getting up with these 4 guys it's so rewarding and so humbling, and it's just so fun. And I think that's just kind of the point of it all.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed. So we talked a little bit about Suffer, and we talked about the video. Let's talk about your newest release, which is Bring Me Down. Can you tell us a little bit about the song and the video, and just explain a little bit what the video and the song are about?
So with that one, we worked with, actually both videos, we've worked with Crooked Media, and so that was, it was kind of just picking back up, we've gotten to know Jeff and Kevin at Crooked, pretty well, where we're all, pretty much friends, and really when we got together with this, there were a lot of things that, at the first video, we were unsure of how it would work, but, we literally came in for this one, and it was, night and day, simple, way more simpler than the first one. Came in and shot all the band shots, just came in, jammed it a couple times, and that was it. And, as far as the video, we actually, there's these crazy lights we got, where we went to Lowe's and got $500 of under cabinet lights, and we zip tied them to mic stands and put them behind us, and Jeff was actually behind there just flicking them on and off.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy, and then we ended up
super creative.
Next day.
Yeah, the production side of things is always the most enjoyable because you really just have to figure it out on your own, especially when you're working. Now, I feel like the videos don't feel like a local production company.
Not at all.
But
not at all.
Because of the look of it, but really there's so much freedom in working with a local production company because they're very open-minded and they'll do what they can to get the job done, and so do we. So it's really cool to just come together and
it's a growing process for both parties.
Oh, yeah,
I feel
absolutely.
We like the ability to work with them and not, I guess, necessarily, having that creative control where you don't have, a label or management saying, it needs to be like this or blah, blah, blah. It's we have that freedom right now to, do what we want, which is cool, within our means, budget.
In the scope of Bring Me Down itself, I know that song came from a place of maybe a little bit of frustration with how Suffer was received, and, people, a little bit of backlash of, because we all come from, conservative, Texas families and whatnot, and they weren't really the happiest with what they thought the message should have been, or et cetera, this and that. But it's kind of don't need to be a buzzkill, We're gonna do what we do, and we're gonna love it. And you really can't bring me down. And it's still gonna be just as rewarding.
No need to be a buzzkill. That was funny.
It really was just drawn from like being sick and tired of hearing people tell us like what they think, we should be playing or what we should be writing. It's like we're gonna do whatever the hell we want, to be perfectly honest. And because if not, like, what's the point of it? So
yeah,
like
you're trying to prove the point there, because you did what you wanted and with great success. So that was kind of like a slap in the face to everybody that was a hater or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's just really like it's like this is my life. Like, and even in the video, like, of course the video is a little, I guess, lighthearted. It's not a serious, like, I think Suffer had that very like emotional connection. But as far as this video, we kept it more of just like I'm gonna do what I want. Like, this is my life. Like, at the end of the day, like, we're going to do what we're going to do. So.
Of course. So what do you guys have in store for the rest of the year and maybe 2019? Are you guys going to continue with a single release and videos? Are you guys working on anything? Are there any tours coming up? What do you guys have going on?
So as far as right now, just a little over a week or two ago, we released our EP, the War Inside EP. And so there's a lot of good stuff on there that we're going to be pulling from, as far as we might, pick another single off there, or we might do some cool stuff. We're throwing around some ideas of possibly some acoustic versions again, putting out some acoustic versions of some of the songs on the EP, and, just stuff like that. And then really when the new year hits, we'll go back to singles again for a while and push some of those. We got a lot for next year that we're going to be pushing.
We have a lot of like new material written that we just want, like, we're ready to show, we're ready to hit the ground running, and like there is just a nonstop pool of influence to draw from all of us, because like John, Robert, and myself, we're definitely songwriters in our own, right, and we're not afraid to just like go off on our own, write something, or get together, bring it to the table, analyze it, and just move forward with it. So at the beginning of next year, we're pretty excited. I mean, we've got a lot, and we're not worried about, I guess.
Yeah, there's no shortage of anything. I mean, like, really, we just released the EP, and things are about to get busy for everyone during the holidays, but as soon as that's over, we're going to hit the ground running in January and smack people in the face with some more new music and, all that. So
yeah, this is just the beginning for us.
Really, yeah, this was just the first solid, I mean, with this group, we started playing in January, put out a single, and then Suffer was the second single we released, and I guess that was back in June, late June now. So, really, this is just the completion of the first year together, and it's been awesome, seeing how much of a solid foundation we've built in months, in a matter of months. Like, so it's definitely something to work with and keep, snowballing. I think it's going to be a domino effect as far as if we, keep busting our ass. So.
So do you guys have any big concerts or a tour planned in 2019 at all? Or is something maybe in the works?
Well, okay, so since we're from Texas, San Antonio, there's a wide range of area to conquer even before getting out of the state. So we got Houston. We've got Houston, Dallas, Austin. We're playing Austin next week. Getting out to Houston in December, and then looking to branch out regionally. As far as Louisiana, Oklahoma, getting up to where Josh is in Reliance Code, and as we talked earlier, getting with him. But really looking to branch out and book more and travel a little bit more in the next year.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, like, there's, I think, like 2-3 million people alone in San Antonio, if I'm not mistaken. Like,
there's a lot of people.
And we haven't reached all of them yet. So, like, right now, I think our focus is really allowing ourselves time to continue to develop our sound and continue writing and recording and really just enjoy the process. Like, there's a lot of ambition in the group. I don't want to deceive you in thinking, like, we're not talking, like, a lot of really big ideas, but we don't want to throw anything out because there's nothing concrete yet.
Right.
But we are really ensuring that we take advantage of the privilege of being in San Antonio, which is a really rock-based city, and having, Dallas and Houston, which are two huge rock hubs as well, and just taking the time to, branch out as much as we can.
Yeah, we want to get a solid local foundation built, and then when the time is right, we will be doing everything that we can to branch out, further away. But for right now, we don't want to bite off more than we can chew.
Right.
Oh, sure, definitely. So where can people find your music? Talk about your website or your Facebook page or whatever you have out there that fans can support you and find your stuff.
So the main source of, all our updates, shows, like announcements for everything, is Facebook. Then we have an Instagram. So Facebook.com/Kingdom Collapse. Instagram, our ID is Kingdom Collapse. Twitter, Kingdom Collapse. It's all just Kingdom Collapse. And then we're on iTunes. We have several singles, and then our EP, War Inside EP, that has actually has 7 songs on it, so it's almost like a short album. That's on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, YouTube, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Go ahead.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to tell you guys thank you for coming on. I've wanted you guys on my show for a while, so wanted to talk to you guys about the music. And thank you. And anytime you want to come back or have a show or have a new release, definitely hit me up. And I appreciate you guys.
Well,
no problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.